Welcome to the Wheatfield, the cozy, snowy, what in the world is going on in our country? Wheatfield. Couple things. I just deleted the entire lesson I worked 4 hours on yesterday while I was sitting here trying to enlarge the font so I could see it on my computer. Because, now that I'm like a whole year older, I can't see as well. And I've deleted it all. So I've typed up a few notes, just the highlights. We're just gonna casually go with it. Maybe this is just a week to talk from the heart. I don't know. So if we're gonna go casual, I'm gonna let y'all see these knobby knees over here. I'm gonna drink my hot chocolate. We're gonna take a deep breath and we're gonna jump right in. Year's an interesting one, right? I had talk about the political state of things, about the state of our country in general, to my family, to my husband. Around the table for my birthday at a birthday brunch over some cinnamon donuts at Josephine's here in Nashville with some good girlfriends of mine. What I don't ever want you all to think is that I'm just gonna talk about the light all the time and everything will be fine and we're just not gonna worry about what's going on out there. That's not it. But I do not feel called to talk about the specifics of things as it relates to the political climate for believers in this country. I'm leaving that, now that I've discovered her, to Sissy Graham. I don't know if any of you all follow her. She is Billy Graham's granddaughter. Phenomenal, and speaks to these things way better than I ever could, or she's called to do that, and I'm not right now. Let me tell you what I'm called to do. Specifically during this season, with this message, I'm called to remind you that you are called and you have a calling on your life. And I'm gonna explain what all that means, because that word calling is like a very churchy word, at least for me. I've heard it my whole life, kind of know what it means. What does it mean? I wanna break it down for us a little bit. Let me tell you what you have been called from. Are you ready? 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. We have been called from darkness into light. And I touched on this last week, got pretty passionate about it. The power we have as a believer that we don't utilize or that we forget is mind-blowing to me. That's myself included. We do not have to live in the darkness. And when I say darkness, I mean things like the fear, the anxiety, the uncertainty, the division, the depression. Those are darkness. We can live in the opposite of all those things because of the power we have in Jesus. Once again, I laugh at those words coming out of my mouth because they sound like the craziest church lady ever, but they're the truth. We can live in the light of opposite of fear is peace. Opposite of anxiety and depression is a sound mind. The opposite of uncertainty is certain that our God is who he says he is. The opposite of division is unity. We have been called out of darkness into the light. And I just think that no matter what goes on this year, the next 4 years, the next 24 years, the next 48 years, that does not change. And what a year it would be if we would stop living in that darkness. That is what we've been called from. Now I want to talk about calling, the calling on your life. I'm going to explain this a little bit better. So when I looked it up, I always like definitions, so we can have like an anchor point. Now I'm going to take a sip of my friends. This, the hot cocoa bombs, this is salted caramel from my friend Joelle and Don. Go check her out. She's really awesome. So it was really pretty before I ruined it in here. I'd show you, but 52 definitions of the word called, calling from a biblical standpoint. 52. I've picked the one that resonates and makes the most sense to me. You ready? A divine summons is a call. Summons, went and looked it up, a definition, means you've been called by an authority to appear or to do something. So you've been divinely asked by an authority, the Lord, to appear or to do something. A divine summons. How beautiful is that? You have a calling on your life. You've been divinely summoned from God to do something, okay? What is cool, in my opinion, about callings is all of them have the same end result, and it is to point people to Jesus and to show people the love of Jesus is a calling, all right? You can have things you're passionate about that don't do that. You can have things you enjoy doing that don't do that. But a calling on your life is pointing people to Jesus and reminding him of his love. The second thing about calling is there is only one size for callings. There are not different levels and layers, one size, and it is huge. Callings are huge. It's a divine appointment from God to go and do something. So do not let the fear or the insecurity, which are darkness, rob you from your calling. So when you're looking at your neighbor's calling or your friend's calling or that person you follow's calling, theirs is no bigger than yours. There is only one size calling. That is big. We little humans in our crazy little minds, we put different levels on things and think our calling is small compared to theirs. No, every calling is the same size because it has the same purpose. I really want us in the start of this year to pray about what our calling is. It can be different than goals. I had you all put your goals in a gift, which was in all these gifts, which was fun to see. But like, what is your calling? What are you feeling called to during this season? How are you feeling most called? Like, what is the calling? Is it in your house? Is it at the school that you go to? Is it at your place of employment? Is it with a certain person you're called during this season to minister to them? Life in the Wheatfield is my calling for this season, which is why I'm sitting here after deleting my notes, just moving forward, drinking hot cocoa, trying to get us all to remember we've been called from darkness to light and we have a calling on our life. And we have the power. God's give us the power. God gives us the power to live out that calling that he has given to us. It's funny when I closed my computer last night, I always upload the file to somewhere else so that I will always have a backup. Didn't do that. I also didn't have a visual for this message. I love visuals. So when I'm teaching about actual wheat and the process of growing wheat, which I will go back to that. We have a whole section of wheat, what to do with it once it's grown in that process. But right now I'm just teaching about the abundance, which is part of the Wheatfield too. I didn't have a visual for this message. So I remember sitting there thinking, I shut my computer, I was like, I don't have a visual for this. I'm a visual learner. I like something to hold on to, like an image. But, oh well, this one won't have it. Maybe it will resonate. And I shut my computer and went to bed and I had a dream. And I laughed when I woke up and was like, that was a weird dream. And it dawned on me, God gave me the actual vision, which, I'm all into that, considering this whole thing's based off of a vision of a lady in a wheat field. But I had a dream that completely provides the visual for this message. And here it was. I was in the kitchen at my parents' house with my two sisters and my mom. We were all talking, and we were all adults. It wasn't like we were kids. And I was like, I'm supposed to wash the dishes, so I'm gonna go over here and wash the dishes. And I'm trying to wash the dishes. And all of a sudden, I just see someone's finger, probably my baby sister, walk over and turn the lights out. Kitchen went complete dark. I could not finish the job I was given. I was standing there in darkness. And I was so frustrated, but I knew where the light switch was. So I walked over there in the dark, found it, flipped it back up, light came on and gave me the ability to do my job. Light was there, I could do my job. Well, not much time went by. I'm guessing my older sister walked over there, flipped that switch off. Darkness came. Once again, I was in darkness, could not see in front of me and could not do my job. And I had to go back over. At this point, I was screaming and very upset at whoever kept turning that switch off. But it made me realize this morning when I woke up, if we are in the darkness, we cannot live out our calling. We cannot live out the job that we've been given. But there is a switch. There is power that if we just go over and do it, power brings the light to us and allows us the ability to see and do the work that God has for us. We always have access to that power, just like that light switch. Turn it back on. If you are in darkness and you've not been able to do the calling on your life, just go turn that switch back on. God is right there waiting on you, bringing you the lightness so you can go live out the calling that is on your life, the divine summons that is on your life. I hope this all makes sense to you. Like I said, all my notes are deleted. Either way, you have been called from darkness to light. You have a calling on your life. And this is the year 2021 for us to live that out. No matter what is going on out there, it does not change that you have been called to do something for the glory of the Lord. All right, don't miss the week. I'll see you next week.